Okay, hey y'all, how's everybody doing today? Hopefully great. Look here, I got something kind of special lined up for y'all today, but first I want to give you a kind of an update on where we're at on our logging. Right now we're finishing up the banding tract. It's almost done. We've got a few remaining logs on the deck. The mills are starting to get spooled back up now after New Year, so we're going to start hauling again. Right now we're waiting on the machine to get here. It's supposed to be here next week for us to finish up these line trees that are leaning way over fence. So hopefully we'll get that finished up pretty quick, and then we'll move over to Mr. Gingrich's next and start cutting his timber. It's a small tract, so you know it probably won't last too awful long. But anyway, today, what we want to do today, I want to show y'all something super special, and it involves one of our very small special members of our family, Brownie, our old miniature pony. He belongs to my daughter Sarah Beth. Sarah Beth actually helped me train Brownie when she was 4 years old. Believe it or not, y'all, 4 years old. They actually learned how to drive together. She learned and he learned at the same time. And if y'all will pull up our playlist and go to Sarah Beth and Brownie, you can go back and watch some of those old videos of them. Okay, so what we want to do is, I bought this fire pit for Marcy, my wife, for Christmas. And y'all don't tell her, but this was supposed to have been like a 2 year ago Valentine's present. I don't guess maybe none of the rest of y'all men are as slow as I am, are you? Anyway, I finally got her a fire pit that she wanted, and she's like, hey, let's build a fire in the yard, sit around and grill marshmallows, you know, roast marshmallows and Wendy's, hot dogs, whatever. I said, well, that'd be cool. And then I got to thinking about what we could do that would be an interesting video for y'all. And we needed a little bit of firewood, and I said, well, hey, we'll go get Brownie, our old pony, we'll go get Brownie, and we'll skid a little bit of firewood with him and do a quick little video with him, since he don't get a whole lot of airtime anymore. Because, you know, look, let's be real, not everybody can afford a pair of draft mules or draft horses, nor do you have the room to keep a big pair of mules or a big pair of horses. But ponies are readily available, they're easy to feed and keep, they can stay fat on air, and they're also just as much fun to drive as a big pair. You know, they'll give you their heart, they'll try for you, you know, real hard, and the training is no different for a little one than it is for a big one. Same exact deal, you just can't pull as big a loads, is the only thing. So I wanted to kind of show y'all what we did with Brownie, and had fun at the same time doing it. So y'all stay tuned with us here, and I hope you enjoy this video, and I pray that the Lord blesses you every time that you watch our shows. Thank you. She's gonna let him have a little wind break here. Let him catch his wind. This is uphill right here. Y'all, I know y'all seen where we've been working the mules. This tract of timber kind of goes uphill all the way to the barn. I mean, when we started down there at that tree line in the back, it comes uphill this way. So everything that we've done has progressively had to go uphill. And what she's doing with him now is getting these little pieces of firewood to go in the fireplace. He's got to go uphill with it too. And this is a little old stick of red oak that she's pulling. I mean, it ain't super heavy, but it's heavy enough, especially for him. It's getting on the ground and going uphill too. And y'all, you got to keep in mind, this old feller's about 33. So he's been around the sun a few times, so we can't do a whole lot with him anymore, but he can still do useful things, such as gathering firewood and, you know, giving you a ride to the dollar store. Now sis, when you start him this time, if you'll swing him toward me, see how all them leaves is piled up under it? Yeah. It'll kind of roll a little bit, and it'll get them leaves out, and then you can kind of go back to where you was going.
You want me to go on the other side of the lawn?
Yeah. There you go, that worked perfect. There's a lot of leaves and stuff down here. See how he's having a scratch? I mean, it ain't super easy. Whoa. Now, y'all, with any animal, as we've learned in the last couple videos we put out about the single training, you don't want to push them further than they can go. And Brownie's getting old, y'all, and he's out of shape too, so we want to give him plenty of breaks.
All right, Brownie, come up.
Whoa.
All right, Brownie, come up.
Now, see the difference in how he pulls here with this longer stick that is skinnier but longer? And if you'll go back in the video where me and Mr. Summers are working the 4 mules and pulling those big logs, I told y'all there, remember that a bigger, fatter log, shorter log, fatter, is harder to pull than a longer, skinnier log is. So this is another instance where that is true too. It's easier for him to just kind of walk along with this stick that we're dragging
Don't let him
here.
get too fast.
And we're just going to take this stick on up to the house and buck it up there with the chainsaw for firewood, and then we'll just use it there. That other stick that's bigger, we'll split it right where it's at and then come back with the cart and get it. See here, Savannah's careful to not run him out of wind and give him plenty of breaks, let him catch his breath.
All right, Brownie, come up.
Now, y'all, believe it or not, whenever we first got Brownie, he was a little bit on the rank side. He didn't care much for kids, and he wanted to run away all the time. And he definitely didn't like riding. And it was a challenge for Sarah Beth and I both. But I actually broke him the harness before we started riding him very much. And I trained him just like I would train, any other animal. I worked him for about 60 days, in the harness, dragging 2 8-inch by 8-foot long corner posts. That's what I used as weight behind him to break him with. And y'all, it's just amazing the difference, in these animals. Whenever you work them for so many days solid, dragging weight, what they'll do, how they'll mind you, how they'll listen. And I didn't do nothing no different with him than I would do with any other animal I'd break to work. Just lighter loads is all.
Pretty good little stick.
And y'all, after Sarah Beth and I got through training him, Sarah Beth and Brownie's bond is irreplaceable. I mean, he loves her to death and thinks the world of her, and she does him also. He's a big part of our family now.
All right, Brownie, come up.
In Savannah, I think sometimes she's intimidated by the size, of the bigger mules and horses and whatnot, but not so much by Brownie, and she enjoys, playing with Sarah Beth and Brownie. So this is good for her too, to get some experience driving and handling. I mean, because he's going to handle just like a big mule or a big horse does. He's just a dynamite in a small package. But it's good for Sis, to be out there with me, and, me and her gets to hang out and talk and everything. It's a good deal, y'all. I had a real good time doing this video for y'all. Now, I don't know if y'all can tell her or not, but that's doggone near a wheelbarrow load of wood that she's got on that little cart. And see how much easier he's handling it? It's so much easier, y'all, to roll a load versus dragging it. And if you got a little cart like this, or even like a little dump cart that can hook behind the pony cart here, and I had talked to Sis about getting her one. That little dump cart will be so handy for like fixing fence and you know, getting firewood, maybe hauling dirt, moving flowers around and whatnot. I mean, it would just be really, really handy. Now here, Skylar and Marcy is helping Savannah clean up some leftover wood we had out in our pasture. We're just trying to kind of pick things up and clean up a little bit and get some firewood for our little fire pit.
Alright, think that's good?
That's it.
Alright, Brownie, come up.
Now I had to show y'all kind of the end result of what we've been doing. We've been gathering up this firewood to build us a little fire. Now we're going to roast some marshmallows and weenies. But before we do that, y'all, I wanted to show you one more thing today that your miniature horse or mule could be useful for. Look at this little dude go down the road. He's got a pretty decent little road gear on him. He's just clicking right along. And right here where we live at, we've got a market store, you know, half a mile up the road. And Savannah loves to cook, so, you know, she could take him up there and get some cooking supplies and, you know, drinks or whatever, especially if he had a little basket on the cart or whatnot, or a little dump cart to pull behind it. So you could do quite a bit with a little horse like this or a little mule. Anyway, y'all, I hope you've enjoyed this, and thank y'all all for watching. Leave us a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. Have a good one.